there's a fire here at the city landfill. The details coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition.
And coming up in sports, Marathon Bahamas 2015 is now history. The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening, I'm LeDaunne Davis and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping the news tonight, for more than 20 hours now, officials continue to battle a fire at the New Providence landfill facility. This blaze has not only stretched resources, inconvenienced residents living nearby, but the company responsible for its daily operations suspect the fire was a result of arson. Scieska Adderley has tonight's top story.
Billows of smoke emanated from the New Providence landfill Sunday as a large surface fire continued to burn on the northern side of the 100-acre property. After receiving calls about the blaze shortly before 11 Saturday night, work crews immediately went to the tipping floor to begin extinguishing it. Officials at Renew Bahamas, which has responsibility for the landfill, have been able to contain the fire so far. Renew Bahamas officials further confirmed in a statement there were actually two fires at the landfill. The first blaze spread due to a change in wind direction. However, the second fire, which started at another area of the site, did not spread. Renew's head of communications, Andrew Knowles, confirmed the blaze was caused by arson, as surveillance indicate individuals entered the landfill after sunset and deliberately started the fire.
We did have some individuals who entered the site last evening, and so we have reasonable cause that it's them behind this fire.
Meanwhile, Director of Police Fire Services Superintendent Walter Evans told us in a telephone interview Sunday that a team of officers will be working along with Renew Bahamas to put out the fire.
The fire is ongoing and it's burning and it's creating quite a bit of smoke in our general vicinity, and resources are being deployed in that general area now, working along with the company to ensure that that fire is extinguished. We've confirmed this morning that the persons who reside in the Victoria Garden community, those residents of the Gladstone Road community, they ought to be the ones in this first phase that we need to really look at very, very closely. Obviously, with the wind blowing, if there's a shift in the wind, then obviously the smoke will blow in a different direction. We would have to then re-strategize and then send out a different type of advisory.
Unfortunately, both Superintendent Evans and Renew Bahamas officials revealed that residents in the neighboring areas will be experiencing the brunt of the blaze for about 2 weeks. Knowles assures them that although fires at the landfill facility is not an unusual occurrence, the number of large-scale fires have reduced significantly since taking over operations last May.
We have gotten in a lot of firefighter equipment. We have a gas analyzer which allows us to go ahead and detect those hot spots to prevent those underground fires that still are brewing.
Scieska Adderley, ZNS Network News.
Director of Police Fire Services Superintendent Walter Evans confirming to ZNS News that arson caused the fire that destroyed the male dormitory under construction at the Bahamas Agricultural and Marine Science Institute in North Andros. Police confirmed that it was shortly after 6:30 Thursday evening when they received an anonymous call about the fire. Police continue to comb the rubbles and speak with a number of persons in the North Andros district as they further expand their probe into that blaze. Environment Minister Kenred Dorset is representing the Bahamas at the International Renewable Energy Agency's 5th General Assembly in Abu Dhabi. IRENA, an intergovernmental organization that supports countries in their transition to sustainable energy future, and serves as the principal platform for international cooperation of policy, technology, resource, and financial knowledge on renewable energy. Altovise Munnings has this report.
The Bahamas joined the International Renewable Energy Agency last year. Environment Minister Kenred Dorset addressed the conference on Saturday in Abu Dhabi and revealed the Bahamas' plan to launch the CIS Lighthouse Partnership. He also outlined our appointment of a renewable energy resource focal point and is also in the process of establishing a unit solely dedicated to the sustainable exploitation of our natural resources and the deployment of renewable energy technology across the country. During an interview with Barbados' CMC News, Minister Dorset explained how this conference can impact the region.
I think that it is important for us to utilize IRENA as an agency to ensure standardization of technology throughout the region, but more importantly to get involved with the readiness assessments that they are offering, so that we could really understand our capabilities as a region in terms of the deployment of renewable energy technology.
With the launch of the Bahamas' National Energy Policy, the Renewable Energy Self-Generation Program, and the Carbon War Room's 10-Island Energy Challenge, the Bahamas has become a model in the region for energy reform.
The reality is we all need to focus on the security of our countries in terms of energy. We all are significantly impacted by the price of fossil fuels the world over. There is a heavy dependence on fossil fuels within CARICOM for the generation of energy.
The Bahamas has been appointed a co-chair to the Caribbean Challenge Initiative Council, and most recently will be representing CARICOM on the IRENA Council along with Trinidad and Tobago for 2015 and 2016. Altovise, Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Activities marking Tourism Week got underway with a church service at Zion Baptist Church on East and Shirley Streets this morning. The goal is to further educate the public about the importance of the country's #1 industry. Senior Pastor Reverend T.G. Morrison delivered food for thought to the tourism professionals in order for them to ensure that it is better in the Bahamas. Similar sentiments were echoed by Minister of Tourism, Obi Wilchcombe.
Being the best will determine that we, each individual, no matter where we go in the workplace, that we understand our responsibility, that we live and we show our leadership, that if we drive a taxi cab, that we understand that that is a noble profession, that if we sweep the streets, that is our mission, that is what we're called to do. All that we have to do, the responsibilities tell us that if we take it upon ourselves, our nation can truly be the greatest nation in the world.
There are thousands of Bahamians who strongly believe that some businesses in this country have been ripping them off by doubling up on the prices of selected items purchased even before the implementation of value-added tax back on January 1st. Chairman of the Price Commission and Consumers Unit, E.J. Bowe, says while he has no proof of this type of action being carried out by businesses, he did say that his inspections team are doing all they can to address the issue.
We are concerned that the merchants don't add more than the 7.5% VAT. See, the VAT tax max is 7.5%, and we say do not go above that. And we have to check it out not only with price control items, but any item which is sold in the Bahamas, goods or service, falls under us to check it out once we get complaints from the consumers, and whether we get complaints or not, we have an obligation to go out to make sure, to ensure that those businesses are operating within the Price Control Act and its regulation.
And coming up, the survivors of war remembered. The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition continues right after this.